Thank you for this opportunity. Well, to share about our industry, let me go to our business itself. We look at consumers. I don't think much has changed with respect to the man-made cellulose fiber industry on the demand side in the long term. If you see, the fiber has grown as amongst the fastest growing fibers in the last 20 years and still continues to do so. That's because consumers have been favorable towards its excellent attributes of fashion, comfort, good handle, whatever in the textile space, softness and comfort in home textiles. And in non-woven especially, things have really looked up now compared to earlier, post-COVID, which has to do with the purity of viscose, the absorbency, the ability to offer comfort where predominantly hydrophobic materials were used. So these things have not changed post-COVID. In fact, it all have been encompassed with an even bigger story on sustainability. When you see a competitive advantage for man-made cellulose, it also is sustainable, more so compared to what others are having. So long-term, medium-term has only to improve. But today we are in the short term too. When you see the short term, there have been impact in offtakes. There have been lockdowns, which means production has suffered across the industry, which means finances have not really flowed in a fragmented cash tab industry. So those challenges are there, but still, even in those, there have been some good insights. Consumers have really changed the product mix, which makes us look at even a better space to play in. And the entire trade is looking at that. The protective clothing, work at home clothing, digitally savvy look clothing, you name it, a lot of things are happening now. And non-woven especially has really spurted in demand. So things are not bad at all, even in short term, if you have the patience, because none of the industries are able to do well, and we are part of it. But we need to build this momentum, seeing the future, which I talked about. Yes, see, we have 7 fiber factories, 4 in India, 1 each in Thailand, Indonesia, and China. Our Thailand and Indonesian units have always been in operation. That's to do with the country there as much as what we were able to realign and put some demand from the market into supplies from those units. That's one. India and China have had areas of concern brought about by the government rules. We have operated within that domain of keeping it open when we are in the right zone, and we have not missed any opportunity of not keeping it open. Having said that, we also did a lot of realigning, so to put it, because this is the best time to regroup, relook, and improve. We have really focused on our business processes. We have made it more robust, building the processes from marketing back. That's an important area which we worked on. Maintenance, these continuous polymerization plants which we run need stoppages to maintain, but we had been able to plan out things better, and that has helped us even be ready for a faster scale up whenever the time comes. But having said that, we do have fibers. Today, all the fiber plants, all 7 fiber plants are running. We do have our fibers, our brands are kicking and doing well with the consumers, Liva Eco. We have recently come out with Liva Reviva, or recycled fiber. All those fibers are available for supplies to the entire value chain. So there's no letdown, even if some manufacturing had a few days of non-operational status. Yes, Aditya Birla, we are perhaps uniquely placed. We are from pulp to retail. If you go to Madura Garments and Pantaloon and even Linen Club, whatever brand they have, we are consumer facing. We do have good insights coming there on how things would span up, though there's not been drastic movement of how we have to operate. I genuinely see product mix changing because consumer behavior is changing. Consumer way of clothing will have to change with those behaviors. Occasion wear is coming. So just an example, Madhura Garments had ventured into mass. They made it quite innovatively. They made it a fashion mass. We don't see mass really in fashion terms. We never saw it earlier, but we see the future necessitating such a thing. So why not have it fashionable, aligned with your clothing? So that's something which is happening. This is within our value chain. When we discuss with other brands, we have found interesting insight. I've been part of many of their sessions, like two global brands had their annual sustainability session. We've been partaking there. And there also we have found that the value chain is really looking for faster, quicker, and everyday insights, but not immediately acting, because you have to put it through a screening method. Finance is important. Planning is important. It's not by having everyday feedback which keeps changing, but it's really up there. Within our business, we did a lot of things, like our TRADC has developed PPE clothing with different iterations, because people don't have the wherewithals to do many blends, many testings to come out and see. Our R&D has come out with our newer fiber now, antibacterial, antimicrobial, and antiviral fiber. That's really taken off because it provides benefit till consumer, and the value chain is adept in applying to various areas, like the traditional looking protective clothing, as much as office wear, which is a jacket which everyone would like to wear in the new scenario. So there's a lot of innovation coming. Even marketing, we have done, I would say, more than any time of communication across the globe. Every day we have our sessions. So that's how things have spanned out. It's more of building and creating a stronger foundation. That's how I summarize that. We firmly believe we are a B2B2C company, and our consumer insights and customer engagement has never slowed down. In fact, it's more than earlier, because people do have some time and people are interested to know if you are offering valuable, relevant information and also supporting them in their solution areas. So the engagement is very good, even compared to earlier, I would say. First, as a group, we did a lot of things. Our chairman, we have a group strength of more than 1.25 lakhs. Our chairman had an open session with group employees through the digital media. In fact, he stressed the need for closer connection even during this time. We call in our group our customers, the dear ones, as Bostomer. So the Bostomer is really creating a lot of valuable insights for us. That's one thing. Two, we started a series. We have what is called as an ABG Leaders Speak series, where eminent, even publicly renowned personalities within the group who are experts have shared, and we had a session open to customers around the world, value chain around the world. We had brands from UK, brands from Hong Kong, local value chain, RMG, all participating in that. It was kicked off by a session by Dr. Ajit Ranade. You know, he's an eminent economist. He's part of the advisory of the government of India as much as the Maharashtra government. We had our other heads also. So we have conducted 8 of them. This has helped us in a few ways. One, getting this thing going on with the consumers, customers, and also the participation has been really good, because this speech and after that there's a lot of conversation within our teams and with the customers. That's the reach out thing which we did. We are in regular touch with global brands, as I said. Their sessions I have attended. I've attended at odd hours, night 10:30 to 1:32 on two times in USA, San Francisco area. You know, it's oddly timed for us, but very happily so. So there is immense some, and the Indian textile value chain I would commend is doing a good job. Like Bilwada and Surat, they had a lot of care for their workers. Erode, Tirupur, they've been looking after the worker community, labor force, uh, seeing that they are not lacking anything on food, shelter, giving them the confidence which is most needed when people are separated from their families across. There's a lot of things which are happening, but uh, having said that, this is a time where this experience is really going to help us spur and do better. That's my fond hope and wish, and I see that happening. Well, what most important is about leadership. There needs to be a leadership change, uh, which is to look with more empathy, a leadership with care, looking at safety and health much more than earlier. That gives the employees the much needed booster to give their best and also help them have a clear mind, uncluttered mind. I would put leadership is critical, and I see that repeatedly being talked about, and it's happening. Labor force requires that as much as all of us. We desire the vision, and the communication is critical. So whatever leaders see, there's nothing called less communication today. Have that vision shared, because the earlier vision, I don't see the vision should be diluted, at least in the industry, but realigning us to get to that vision by way of strategy is important. That would continue. Second, for me, ultimately, business is all about finance, getting the right returns, which is looking very tough when the entire consumer backwards is not really rich in cash. The propensity to invest in clothing, textiles has changed, but there are new opportunities brought about, which are consumer insight session says on occasion, where like our design team has come out with newer masks and that sort of thing. So I see the third one after financial, the product mix. There is going to be a product mix change. That mix would look a bit finer, look more comfortable, would be aligned more with research. I see shorter cycles coming in because people are also testing waters. We do not have the luxury of doing a prototype development, putting it in the market, doing tests, communication tests, and all that. So when readiness means it's about doing things and getting the feedback and putting it. So for that, a lot of consumer insights and prototype development and a change product mix would happen. Innovation is there to stay. We know that. That's something, innovation, not only in products, innovation in processes. That's what I meant by building processes. It may be different to what we are doing, but how do we have innovation at the backbone of whatever we do? Just an example of this, how do we go to office is going to change. The way we dress is going to change. How do that add up to a clothing business? When we stay at home, I have definitely started seeing my home textile differently. Today, there's more involvement in home textiles than ever before. Seeing can it be of different hues, colors, performance, all that. So these things are experience which will keep changing. That's one. And one more important thing is technology. This perhaps is the biggest change. We have to embrace technology, like what we have a conversation now. We should be able to quickly share our samples across through the digital media, giving information enough and not over communicating too, so that we get quick trials on. Even sizing would come into technology in this domain. Yarns, the test reports, all that would have to come into technology. 3D printing, which was talked about, is a definite reality, which I see a lot of scope coming in, even for the industry backwards of uh, fabricating. So this is going to happen. We'll see e-fashion shows. You may be, I'm sure, thinking about that too as a media leader, because physically we enjoyed a fashion show. We wanted to really see the garments, how it flowed. We may have to guard ourselves into crowded areas, and we see a lot of things based on technology. So that's here to say. So leadership, I can say finance, uh, consumer insight changing, product mix changing, innovation, and technology for sure. I am also learning every day. I've got now 8 such connections going. Zoom, Blue Jeans, I didn't know itself. There's one Blue Jeans connection. One brand said, I will only talk through Blue Jeans. We only worn Blue Jeans. So that's how it would all play. So that's what I wanted to share on this. It's a very difficult question for you to ask and for us to answer too, because it's not really predictable. But I would go by what indicators we can see, what parallels can we draw, what experience we have had prior to this on similar or near similar surroundings and events. So looking at all this, the nearest one sees the media talking about is the 2009 financial crisis, which took 12 to 18 months to be better than prior to that. But having said that, everybody adds an addendum to it by saying that had more of finances and supply side issues. This perhaps covers entire humanity, one, and it has a huge implication on the masses and the way they behave and the way they see the world is going to change. All these would happen, but the human mind is very alert, and we see this change being embraced. We will learn to live, we will learn to adjust, and also learn to thrive, because we would routinely having an experience of getting insights, getting into opportunities, getting into segments which we don't want to do everything for everyone. So 12 to 18 months can be a reasonable guesstimate from my side. I don't know as much as any, but these are only indicators and my personal view.